Well, October 25th and the primitive weapon season is on the horizon, and with our preseason legwork done, Dad's up to bat to hopefully cross paths with a mature whitetail buck.
Okay, it's opening day here. I'm pretty excited. This is a great spot. We've had incredible success here over the last 4 or 5 years.
Here he comes. He might come right. He's running it. Here he comes.
I'm gonna go sit on the ground in the corner where I seen that guy going in yesterday. Yes! God, what an experience.
After Dad's giant frosted rack buck and the snow coming, Kaelan and I hunted hard, having some close encounters, where Kay was looking for a big muzzleloader buck of her own.
Dropped him in his tracks, babe. Like he didn't go out an inch.
Super happy to be able to have this beautiful deer.
My name is Mitchell Payment. I started tagging along with my dad to go hunting basically since I learned to walk. I grew up living the outdoor lifestyle, learning from my dad and any hunting video I could get my hands on as a kid. It became evident it wasn't only a lifestyle, but it was also my biggest passion in life.
Nice shooting, buddy.
Welcome to Season 6 of Moment of Truth TV.
I just killed the bull of my dreams.
He's down.
Yes! That was unbelievable.
After all these years and the amazing experiences with loved ones, I've never been more thankful to be a hunter. Enjoy the show. Over the past few years, when it comes to the primitive weapon season, Dad has tended to be a big buck magnet, having encounters and getting visuals of some really great deer. Elusive bucks that only slip up a few times each season. This year, yet to fill a whitetail tag, Dad's up to bat first, and we're hoping the hot streak continues in the primitive weapon season, whitetail woods.
Okay, here's a beautiful day for sighting in the rifles. I think we're all good now. We're all within the bullseye, so should be good to go for the muzzleloader. He's opening day. Okay, it's opening day here. I'm pretty excited. Conditions could be a little better. It is blowing. It started last night, rained a bit throughout the night, so it's gonna be a tough sit. Sometimes the deer don't like being out there when it's like this. They like getting heavy into the bush, but this is a great spot. Hasn't really been bothered this year. We've had incredible success here over the last 4 or 5 years, and hopefully today will be the same. We're gonna get in there, sit in the wind, and hopefully a nice buck comes by.
To our surprise, even with the extreme wind conditions, as daylight broke, we spotted a couple different groups of deer out in front. Unfortunately, no bucks were present, and the high winds had the does heading back to the bush at a good pace to bed up for the day.
Okay, back at the truck, we saw the 4 does and a doe and 2 fawns, and that was it. So because of the strong winds, I think they went in early, and that's just the way it is.
We're hoping the days to follow with better conditions will prove to be deadlier.
Here he comes.
Moment of Truth TV is brought to you by RV City, generations of family fun. Ole Smokes Coffee, coffee for the courageous. iHunter app, Know your regs inside and out. Black Widow Deer Lures, #1 whitetail estrus and deer scents. Tacticam, share your hunt. Sights and Arms, your firearm specialists. Prime Archery, the most accurate bows on the planet. And by Huntworth Gear, when concealment matters the most.
Morning number 2. We're hitting it.
With way better conditions on an absolute beautiful morning, there was a bunch of deer feeding their way back to the bush to bed up for the day, including what looked to be a decent buck with some pretty good headgear. Unfortunately, this buck went in right by our other stands that we wanted to go to this morning, but the wind direction had different plans. With more deer out in front, we kept our eyes peeled, hoping for another shooter buck. With the last of the does going into the bush to bed, that wrapped up our morning as no other deer made an appearance. That evening, Dad and I went our separate ways, hoping to up our odds of success. Shortly after Dad got settled into the corner of his field, he already had deer filing out. Having a constant flow of does entering the field, Dad was hoping to see antlers coming out of the bush.
Okay, I just got back to the truck. That was a really cool night. I saw 21 does. I can't even believe it. They just filed out. It was so neat. They're liking that field, but tomorrow morning we're going to be, it's a west wind, we're going to be hitting our tree stands that we've been wanting to hit where that buck came through this morning. So hopefully we can get in there and that happens and we can get her done. So stay tuned.
As daylight was approaching, we had a spiker buck come right by, and with lots of deer out and about, it was shaping up to be an eventful morning. Just as we had hoped, the buck from the previous morning was back out again.
It's a big deer. He's chasing us. Unless he's postured up though. I got bucked. He's chasing this doe that's moving towards. Here he comes. He's not gonna come. He might come right. He's running it. Here he comes.
Unfortunately, the buck didn't come down the bush line. Rather, he was thrashing brush just out of sight in the bush.
Well, we just got back to the truck and that was by far our best morning during the primitive weapon season. As it started getting lighter, I was glassing with my burst binos and man, it was just deer popping up everywhere. And then Dad's like, oh, here comes a deer over the hill. Beautiful buck. He was
Just the words you want to hear. It's a big buck.
yeah, he was a heavy chocolate 10 and he was chasing does, starting to get in the mood and posturing up to those spikes. And so I figured, you know, he's in the mood. Let's see if he'll come over. So I let out a few grunts. He heard him. Wasn't too into it at first, and then the snort wheeze, and he came running, and he was definitely looking for that fight. It looked like he was gonna come down the tree line just perfect, but he cut in the bush, circled downwind unfortunately, but he was just rocking a tree. It sounded like he was just mowing it down with his antlers, so he was fired up. There's no doubt about it. It's end of October here, and things are just gonna get better from here on out, so hopefully we can get another opportunity like that and get a crack at him. But beautiful buck, beautiful morning, and we're gonna keep at her.
You betcha.
This segment is brought to you by Sights and Arms for all your firearm, shooting, and hunting needs. Also, get booked for the best firearm training, shooting sports, and reloading courses today. Dad continued to hunt the next few mornings and nights, having similar encounters with a lot of the same deer. After watching the same buck take a similar route consistently most mornings, and only having does come right by and read the script, it was time to move in.
Okay, day number 7, I guess. It's like -11, nice and calm. I'm gonna go sit on the ground below our tree stand in the corner where I seen that guy going in yesterday. I think he's playing cat and mouse with us, so he's using the wind. But today I'm gonna be on the ground, gonna get in there. Hopefully I don't spook nothing going in. That's gonna be the main thing. If I can get in there undetected, I think I might have a chance, because it's cool. They should be out late.
With shooting light approaching, Dad had a cow and calf come by to start off his morning, and just as he had hoped, the deer were short to follow. Dad's plan was coming together right before his eyes as the buck was trailing the does. Unfortunately, this buck, after trotting by, got into a dip and didn't present a good shot before entering the bush. As I like to say, everything happens for a reason. Dad spotted a deer way out in the fields coming in his direction, and it looked like a giant.
Keep coming, big boy. I'm gonna crush him. Come on, baby. If he follows those does, I should get him. Bah. 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 I think I just crushed Big Red. Okay, I'm just enjoying the sun here. I just sat down. I came out of the corner. I waited about 45 minutes or an hour, and I just eased out of there. So, man, oh man, I don't know what to say. Like, I think I made a good shot, but it's so hard to tell. So I'm just gonna wait for Mitch, and then we're probably gonna give him another hour or so, and then we'll go in and see what happens here. Okay, we're giving 3 hours now. We just came to a spot where we think point of impact was. There's blood already. We have pretty good blood here. It's not bad. I think it's a good sign. We're gonna follow it into the bush, and hopefully he's in here.
As we continued to follow the blood into the bush, the blood trail kept getting better and better the further we went, giving us hope it was a good shot and he wouldn't have made it far.
Mitch, he's there. He's right there. Oh my God. Oh, thank you. Oh,
He looks big.
Oh, he didn't go far. Yes! Oh,
Look at the rack.
7 days. The 7th morning in a row. Finally, look at that. Thank you so much. That is a nice. Look at him, man. Crazy cool buck. Thank you. God, what an experience. I feel very, very, very fortunate to be able to harvest an animal like this. He's a beauty. Well, guys, here he is. Absolutely amazing. I can't believe the morning I had. It was one of the best ones I've ever had in the whitetail woods. So I look way out there, about 3/4 mile away in the flats, and I seen a speck. So sure enough, he starts working his way towards me. I could see antlers. He just has the frame, like his frame is just, and he's just huge. And for him to work his way right to me it was just a blessing, let me tell you. So it's October 31st. It was my 7th morning in a row hunting these things, and they're so smart. They're hard to get close to. And I finally got my chance, and I let the muzzleloader bark, and You only get one shot and you got to make it count, and I did.
Congrats, Dad.
Mitch was
Super happy for you. He's a gorgeous buck.
Oh my
we had
God.
some encounters with this guy last year, and Dad almost pulled the trigger on him. And he there was a few branches in the way, and he just eluded us. It's cool to have some history on a big feller like this. His neck and body is amazing. He's just an absolute specimen. Congrats, Dad, and super happy for you, and it's an amazing way to kick off your 2021 season.
Yes.
And you did it all. You self-filmed it. You made the shot count. He didn't go nothing but 100, so
Yeah.
unbelievable.
What a morning.
Moment of Truth TV is brought to you by Revolution Armory, Canada's best custom shotguns. G5 Outdoors, designed to hunt. Burris Optics, find what matters. Reveal Cellular Cameras, always on the hunt. Victory Archery, the carbon arrow experts. Score Ammunition, proudly Canadian. And by Tween Lake Feed Solutions, quality wildlife feed. A few weeks and multiple snowfalls later, Caitlyn and I are back out chasing whitetails during a primitive weapon season. We already did one sit, but we sat in this little tower blind, and man oh man, it was tough getting in there. I think we made a little bit too much noise. We didn't see a deer, so today we're just gonna slip into this property that served us well in the past, kind of tuck under a spruce tree, and see what comes out. Reveal trail camera's been sending us lots of pictures of does and some bucks chasing them, so you truly never know. There's some real humdingers in the area. Definitely the tail end of the rut. I think most does have been bred, but you never know, we could get a cruiser. Sure enough, not long after getting settled in, we spotted a deer coming up over a hill. It was a nice 4.5-year-old buck out cruising looking for does. He ended up cruising by our reveal cell cam, and then we looked up and saw some movement in the trees ahead. A few does making their way out to the field to feed for the evening. Just as we thought might happen, that cruising buck was hot on their trail. Being Kaelan's first encounter during the primitive weapon season, she elected to pass this beautiful buck. After scent checking the does, the buck continued cruising where he ended up coming right by us at 10 yards, grunting along the way. Our night was then finished off by watching a bunch of does coming out to feed. Kaelan and I kept hunting hard, going out morning and night, where we were fortunate to see lots of game, keeping us entertained. With hardly ever a dull moment, we were just hoping for the opportunity for Kaelan to drop the hammer on a nice whitetail buck. When out of nowhere, a beautiful buck we called Chance came out of the bush fast, chasing a doe. With animals all around, Kaelan was trying her best to get readjusted quietly in the ground blind to shoot that direction.
Okay, get ready. Can you get on him? Are you on him at all? You gotta watch the blind.
The buck then began chasing the doe, where he quickly got out of range and never presented another good shot. Devastated from the missed opportunity, and only a few days left in the season, Kaelan and I headed out to the man-made blind Dad and I made earlier in the season. While making our way in, and only 10 yards out from the blind, a buck chased a doe out of the bush right out in front. Instead of heading back into the bush, he continued to chase her around, and other deer began to file out. We snuck up to the bales for cover, with no chance of getting into our blind.
There's 12 deer out already. Should be a good night. I think we're gonna see a good buck, but hopefully we can get a shot.
As more deer were coming out, a quadder in the neighboring field spooked the deer back into the bush. This gave us just enough time to sneak into our blind, get situated and ready before the deer began to come back out, and boy was there a lot of them. All the deer quit feeding and all their eyes were glued to something off to our left. And whatever they were looking at, the spike liked and took off running towards it. Shortly after, 2 does came running out of the bush, and sure enough, there came a big red-headed buck.
Just aim a little high. A little high. Dropped him in his tracks, babe. Oh my gosh. You just crushed him. You just dropped a giant buck. Oh my god. He's down. Like he didn't go an inch. He didn't go an inch, babe. That's the Big 10. Kaelan's tagged out, baby. Oh my gosh, I'm so proud. She made an incredible shot. That's a good deer right there. No tracking needed on that guy. He's down right there. Whew. Absolutely amazing. Truly amazing.
Well, just get into the blind. Let's go put our hands on him.
Oh, it's so awesome when you don't have to track them. So fortunate. That is a sight to beheld. Right there. Oh, holy smokes. Look at that.
Well, here he is, folks. My very first ever muzzleloader whitetail, and a nice and mature 10-point at that. It was my first ever season really hunting for muzzleloader deer. Mitch and I put in a lot of time and was able to pass a couple younger deer, so I'm super happy to be able to have this beautiful deer. I told Mitch going into it, I was like, I'd be so fortunate to be able to shoot something other than an 8-point, just because I kind of wanted to break that streak, and here he is, my dream deer for the 2021 muzzleloader season.
Congrats, babe. I'm so proud of you. You made such a good shot with the Burris optics. You got a nice clear vision of them, and you're able to put an absolute smoker down on the ground with big brows. So thanks for coming along, guys. You know, if you guys didn't watch, we wouldn't be able to do this, and we definitely don't take it for granted. So just an amazing night. Congratulations again. And this is something I'll never forget for sure. Just an absolute gorgeous whitetail buck. Thanks, big guy.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Burris Optics. Find what matters.